Going. So first of all, I would like to say welcome to everybody who's here. Thank you to Michigan Virtual for joining us tonight, and all the parents for taking a minute to come together to help their students get off to a good start this summer. We're really proud to be able to partner with Michigan Virtual for our accredited advancement courses this summer. Not only do we believe they have a quality education to offer, but we think that they're also a good organization to work with. So the main reason we're here tonight is to help everyone become oriented with the system, to know how it is they're going to be able to move through each course successfully, what their resources are, and how eventually to manage their time and to get through what we know is going to be 18 weeks of coursework in a 10-week period. So we will have an opportunity at the end of this for questions. So if you have questions, don't worry, we set this up as a live Zoom instead of a webinar, so you'd actually be able to ask those questions and get them answered right here tonight as if we were in the same room. And we can go ahead and go to the next slide then, folks. And one more. So as you know, these courses can be taken for grade improvement or credit advancement. Grade improvement means you've already taken the class and your grade is not what you wanted it to be. You would like to improve that, and this is your opportunity to do so. Credit advancement means that you have never taken the class and you would like to move ahead in your education. We have that available in a couple of areas, primarily in the electives, but also if you're an 8th grader moving into 9th grade in algebra, economics, and civics. So other than that, there is not a credit recovery opportunity in this program. It's just grade improvement or credit advancement. As I had mentioned a second ago, they are rigorous courses. They are 18-week semester courses, but they're rescheduled to fit into a 10-week period. So we really want, one of the main themes tonight is don't take them for granted. Just because they're online doesn't mean they're easy or you can blow them off, which is why it's so important that we wanted to get students the opportunity to start right away on June 4th versus waiting until school was out and starting with the rest of summer school on June 21st. That by starting a little earlier, that buys you an extra 2 weeks to get things taken care of versus waiting till the 21st when you would only have 8 weeks. The maximum number of classes you can take during the summer through Michigan Virtual is 2. There's a couple of reasons for that. Number one, they are tough classes. They take time. And number two, being in regular school with everyone is important as well. So we're having a balance here. And so if you get into these courses and you find that this is not for me, the last day to drop is going to be June 29th. Now, let me rephrase it. The last day to drop to receive a refund is June 29th. You can stop taking the class at some point, but that doesn't, after the 29th, you don't get a refund. And the reason for that is that's the point at which West Bloomfield Schools has to pay the bill to Michigan Virtual for the classes that people are registered in. So again, it begins June 4th, ends August 13th. There are no extensions available for summer school courses, so it's very important to establish a routine and a schedule and to understand that that deadline is a hard deadline. So we really encourage you to make this a daily routine in which you're spending time and taking care of this one step at a time versus trying to cram it all in at the last minute and then realizing you can't. Okay, so again, if you have any questions about those things, I'll be able to answer those at the end of the presentation.
Hey, I'm Debbie Lynch, and I'm the mentor coordinator for Michigan Virtual. So I just have a few things to talk to you about with Michigan Virtual. And as Aaron said, feel free to write in the chat if you have a question, and Aaron and Stacy will be happy to answer your questions. And then at the end, you'll be able to unmute yourself and ask questions in person if you'd like to do that. So Michigan Virtual was established in 1998. We've been around for quite a while. We're a nonprofit, 501c3 organization, and we work in partnership with schools. We are not a virtual school like some schools are, but we offer to supplement curriculum for middle school and high schools. So we have several things that we are proud of. One of them is Quality Matters, and all our courses go through Quality Matters. It's a rigorous test to make sure our classes are rigorous and relevant before we even will adopt them. We also go through Cognia, which is the new accreditation. They keep changing their name, but they're called Cognia now. And we do go through a lot of accreditation to make sure that how we're running our business as far as parents and students are concerned are the way we should be. We're certified from the Michigan Department of Education and Michigan High School Athletic Association. And a lot of our courses are NCAA approved, which means if your student is a student athlete that maybe will go on to a college level to play sports, a lot of our courses are NCAA approved. So we have several guides on our website. You can see the URL is mvlri.org/guides. We have a student guide and a parent guide are probably the ones that you're the most interested in. But as you can see, our research institute, research institute, that's a mouthful, has several guides for pretty much everybody involved in online learning at your school to help them. So these are free. You're welcome to download those, read those at your leisure, but it has a lot of really great information in them. So advantages of online summer school, like Erin said, enrichment, credit advancement, grade improvement, AP course prep to become more college and career ready. And a lot of kids love to free up time in the regular school year to be able to take some other courses by taking some summer school courses. So our Michigan virtual online teachers, they are all Michigan certified, highly qualified teachers. So your student will have a real live teacher on the other end of their course. So we have very high expectations for our teachers. We expect them to respond within 24 hours when your student sends them a message. And a lot of times it's way quicker than that, but that's the maximum amount of time we give them. And they also have up to 72 hours to grade assignments, but especially in the summer, they grade a lot quicker in the summer because they know the students are on a little bit more accelerated path. So they really do get things graded a lot quicker. And they also provide a pacing guide that has weekly expectations, which is really important. Like Erin said, you don't want to wait till the end because you will not get your class done if you try to cram it in the last couple of weeks, because your teacher can only grade as fast as possible because we grade everything ourselves. We don't have a lot of auto graded computer assignments. So our teachers are manually grading everything. So you'll get a pacing guide that'll show you what to do week 1, what to do week 2, and so on. So it really can set you up to make sure that you finish your class on time. So to be a successful online student, you need to be able to work independently. Obviously, you need daily access to the computer and internet. You need to be self-motivated. You need to make sure you check your student learning portal messages daily. We'll talk about that in a little bit. It's helpful to be a grade level reader, but we do have Speak It and Grammarly to help in that area. Obviously, to have the support from your family and school, and I know you for sure have it with West Bloomfield. And obviously, it's super important to have academic integrity and to make sure you're doing your own work. So we have, click one more time. There's Stacy. So we have a strategies for online success. It's not really a course. It's just a free tool that we have on our website. And this is for anybody that hasn't had an online class before. So you can, as a parent or a student or both, go look at these modules just to find out what to expect about an online class. It's a whole different animal than being in a face-to-face class. Literally, they take all of the content, all of the assignments, and they put it into an online environment. So it's just like a face-to-face class, but it's online. So you can see these 3 modules will really help give you some understanding on what to expect and what the kids can expect from their online class. So parents is no different than face-to-face, and maybe even more important that you play a vital role in the success of your student taking an online course. So they still really need your guidance and encouragement, and you will have access to the student learning portal where you can view your student's grade book and their pacing guide. So you can look at the pacing guide. I suggest you print it off and put it on the refrigerator. And then every week, whatever week it is, you look at their grade book and say, here's your pacing guide. This is where you should be. Why are you not there? Or great job, you're where you're supposed to be. So even though your mentor at West Bloomfield is going to help motivate your students to keep on track, it's really, really helpful if you as parents can help your student keep on track too. And we give you those tools to help you do that. So here's our student learning portal, and everybody logs in here. Teachers, students, mentors, parents, everybody goes here. Your email is your username, and then you will get a password. If you don't have a password, if you forgot your password, there is a link that says forgot your login and or password. If you click on that, type in your email, Michigan Virtual immediately sends you your current password. So there's no reason if your student says, gosh, I was going to do work these last couple of days for Michigan Virtual, but I forgot my password. So that's never an issue. You can just have them go right to forgot your login and or password and get your rate in. And this is where you will see the pacing guide and the grade book. And this is where your student will then get in. They'll see a link to their course and they click on that link. And then that takes them into their course, which the majority of our courses are in an LMS called Brightspace. So that's where they will work on their class. So you as a parent can't get into their class, but you're welcome to look over the shoulder and see how they're doing. So West Bloomfield mentors, this is their role. They're going to try to help your kids keep on pace. They're definitely an advocate for your student success. They're not the online instructor, and that confuses kids sometimes because they might know the West Bloomfield mentor, but they don't know they've never met face-to-face with their Michigan Virtual teacher. So they get kind of confused on which is which. They're not necessarily a tutor. We don't expect your West Bloomfield mentor to know the content of your student's class. They really can't solve computer or technical problems unless they're techie like that and can do that. But they're the liaison between the Michigan Virtual teacher and you as parents. So the teacher will be communicating more with the mentor, but you parents might see a progress report eventually or every once in a while from a teacher, but the Michigan Virtual teacher doesn't reach out directly to the parents. They usually go through the mentor, and then the mentor will communicate more with the parents. So in saying that, this is the order your student should ask for help. If it has anything to do with the course, they should always ask the online teacher first, because the West Bloomfield mentor or their virtual dean they're not going to know the answer to their content question. So always go to the teacher. The teacher is there for the student. They are waiting for them to ask questions. You never can ask too many questions from your teacher. So make sure you go to your teacher first. Then if you don't hear from the teacher or you have a different issue, please contact your West Bloomfield mentor, and Stacy's going to talk about how they can do that eventually here. And then if all else fails, you can always go to our customer care team, which we have rock stars in our customer care team. They are really, really good about answering questions, but this is the order that will get you the quickest answer for your student. So speaking of customer care, there's a couple different ways you can contact them: by phone, by email, or the website is how you can go in and put in a ticket, and they will get back with you either that day or the next morning. They're open from 7:30 to 5, Monday through Friday. We also have a Michigan Virtual knowledge base. You might hear us talk about KB articles, and that's what we call them. This is a place you can go and ask a question like, where do I find my kids' pacing guide? How do I view my students' grade book? And it will come up with a sheet with pictures and step-by-step directions on how to do those types of things. So tips for success. And Erin touched on some of these a little bit. Start early. I know you're still in school. If you can't do both, that's fine. If you have to wait until after school's out and concentrate on your summer class, that is totally okay. But if you do have time, I recommend starting early, especially because you might be going on vacations or have sports camps or band camp or something that will take you away from your computer. And 10 weeks goes by pretty quickly in the summer. But stick with a schedule. Find a schedule. What's best for you? Is it best to get up in the morning and just knock out a couple hours, or do you work better at night? Whatever it is, make sure that you find the best way every single day to log into your class. And make sure you put yourself in a physical location, which is not in front of the TV set, because it's harder to concentrate in front of the TV set. Find yourself a quiet spot. You'll get a lot more done in less time than if you're sitting in front of the TV. Make sure you monitor your grades. You will see your grades in the student learning portal. You will also see your grades in Brightspace. You have a grade book in there too. So make sure you're always looking at your grades and your assignments. If you don't understand why you got something wrong, ask your teacher. A lot of times you can redo your assignments. Ask your teacher. They'll open up another attempt for you. But please don't ever let it go and not understand why you didn't do well on something. Your teachers will almost all the time give you feedback on every assignment. So make sure you read that teacher feedback. That's really important. And as I said earlier, please communicate often with your instructor. They're there waiting to help you. They really want you to reach out to them. Ask questions to the mentors and your teachers as necessary, obviously, and always back up all your materials and assignments, just in case you get to redo an assignment. You want to make sure you save it because you don't want to redo the whole thing over again. You just want to alter it and then resubmit it to your teacher.
Debbie, thank you so much. That was great information. So a little bit more information about your WB mentor. Communication regarding your students' progress is probably going to come from that mentor. Remember, you're going to go to your teacher, your MVU teacher, if it has somehow it's content driven or it's a content question. But when it comes to progress in general, and you kind of want to get an update, that's what you're going to be seeing from your WB mentor. Hopefully, like at first, those things will start weekly, but you might be getting an email or a phone call from your mentor a little bit more often if your progress starts to fall behind. Because again, the most important thing that you can do is keep up with that work, and we want to help you be successful. Your mentor will also give you updates regarding testing information. So if you need that, that'll come from your mentor as well. And the nice thing is that even though you're taking a class online, we do have starting on June 21st, when technically summer school starts for everyone else, we will have an in-person learning lab open for you so that you can go there face-to-face and get the support that you need from your mentor. Before that, your mentor is going to be reaching out to you soon with an email address where you can go ahead and reach out to them if you're struggling. And again, parents, keep your eyes on your email. That's where mentors are going to reach out to you if they feel like your student is falling behind and maybe needs a little bit more support. Final exams, you do not need to come in person to take those final exams. You're welcome to do that in the comfort of your own home. And not every class has a final exam. You'll know when you get updates from your teacher. Look on your learning management system, look in the My Grades tab. It'll give you a little more information about how your grades are coming along. And if you're concerned about what that final exam is going to be like, or you're not really sure if it's going to happen, check with your Michigan virtual teacher. They're the ones that are going to give you that information. We're going to open it up to questions now, although if something happens and you think of a question after we go offline, you're more than welcome. We're going to have a link on our website pretty soon, that website, that summer school website that's up there where you can go and you can add questions into a Google Doc if we don't answer them here. You can also reach out to the Dean of Instruction, virtual Dean of Instruction, Lindsay Krauser. She wasn't able to be here tonight, but this is her email on the screen. And I think at this point, I don't see any questions in the chat, but I'm going to go ahead and open things up. Give you a chance to unmute yourself. If you've got questions, you can reach out now and do that. If you find that for some reason you cannot unmute yourself, just go ahead and raise your hand, give us some sort of a signal. You should be able to unmute yourself though if you've got questions now. Got one in the chat. Will our GPA or will our grade in a course affect our GPA? So your final grade in this course does make a difference in your GPA. That's why you want to stay on track, do your best, and then whatever your final grade is, that will be given to, or we'll put that into PowerSchool so that it has an effect on your GPA. Any other questions?
All right, everybody. Well, thank you for joining us tonight, and we look forward to a successful summer of continued learning. We hope that you have a great summer otherwise as well, and that'll do it. So have a good night, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks so much for joining us.